Monday marks the anniversary of the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history when a gunman opened fire at Pulse nightclub in Orlando last year. The shooter killed 49 people and wounded more than 50. Pulse has become an unofficial site of remembrance. Outside the nightclub, the Associated Press reports, hundreds of people gathered in the early hours of the morning as the names of all of the 49 victims were read aloud. The AP reports that the recitation of names began just after 2 a.m., the time that Omar Mateen began shooting during the gay Club Andepos Latin night. "I realize that gathering here in this place at this hour is beyond difficult," Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer said during the service, according to the AP. "But I also know that the strength you and APOs be shown over the past year will carry you through today and in the future." All things considered, host Ari Shapiro traveled to Orlando last year after the shooting. Last week he returned to talk to survivors and others about their recovery. Answai Bennett, 26, was one of those shot that night. He has a line on his hip 6 inches long marking where he was shot. Doctors told him he and APOs probably never walk the same way again. After a year of physical therapy and going to the gym, his limp is gone. As Ari reports, Bennett recently came back to Pulse for the first time in almost a year. "I just felt like I could hear them if I was praying here and talking here. Like I could come here and talk with my friends." Among Bennett and APO's friends who died that night was Paul Terrell Henry. "Paul, I think about every day," he says. "He was a part of my everyday life. He was my best friend, so I think something about him every day." Olivia Baez, a nurse at Orlando Regional Medical Center, cared for victims the night of the shooting. She says she comes to the memorial outside Pulse almost every day. "I still come back sometimes and go back to that night and APOs like I know we need to go on with our lives, especially with the type of work that I do. I know a lot of people say divide the work and the personal," she says. UCAN and APOs. Not in this case, UCAN and APOs do that. Florida Governor Rick Scott ordered the STATE and APOS flags flown at half-staff Monday, which he declared Pulse remembers.